Are you seeing any signs of any kind of a cooling, or is it more just, well, there's no houses to buy, so maybe that kind of skews the numbers?
So we are seeing some signs of softening in the housing market, but context is important here. You're seeing purchase mortgage applications, decline on a week over week basis and certainly lower than 1 year ago. And you are starting to see inventory start to rise, which is good news. But with that said, inventory is rising from a historical low. So inventory is still very, very low. And purchase applications, while they're lower than 1 year ago, which is when we saw all of that pent up demand flood the market, they're still at about 2019 levels, which is our second best year in a decade. So we're still very much in a seller's market, but we are seeing some early signs of softening.
But I think, Odetta, you get my point about inventories. I mean, it seems like the only houses that are for sale for very long are the homes. It's a lime green with no windows, super postmodern brutalist. It's got some issue to it. Inventories have been just absolutely terrible.
Absolutely. Inventories are still very low. You're still seeing bidding wars. Again, still very much a seller's market. And, this lack of inventory is especially an issue at that starter home, lower price tier segment. So oftentimes where that first time home buyer is looking to buy. So very much still in a low inventory environment.
If you owned a home for years, if you're older and you have equity, you sell your house, maybe you can buy a house someplace cheaper for all cash. If you're a new buyer coming in with no equity, I mean, hope mom and dad or grandma and grandpa left you some cash because you've got to put down a lot of money. What are you seeing from average loan sizes? Are we seeing more all cash buyers, or are people, literally mortgaging it all?
So average loan sizes still remain near historic highs. And to your point about that first-time home buyer, they don't have the equity from the sale of an existing home to bring to the closing table as an existing homeowner would. And so, this market is especially challenging for that first-time home buyer. We have seen growing affordability challenges as nominal house prices reach double digits. And so, we may start to see some pullback from that buyer on the margin, which will, hopefully result in some moderation of home prices, fewer bidding wars, and we'll start to maybe see that nominal house price growth start to slow.
Have you been shocked at the housing market the last year, Odetta? I mean, we didn't know what to expect going into a pandemic. Nobody did. And everyone just kind of sit on their hand. I'm not sure anybody predicted what we have seen the last 15 months in housing. Maybe you did.
Yeah, so this was a service sector recession, so really disproportionately hurting lower income renters, and so potential home buyers and homeowners were a little bit more protected from this kind of services recession, and so those would-be buyers actually, they saved some money, and then of course we have this longer run demographic demand of millennials aging into their prime home buying years, and then of course mortgage rates hit record lows, so it was kind of a this perfect storm that resulted in all of this pent up demand flooding the market. And so some of that has gone away and we're starting to normalize, but there's still plenty of demand for homes today. Again, this demographic demand, rates still remain near historic lows. It's really about the lack of supply to meet that demand.